Hello, listeners. My name is Ivan Fowler, and I'm the Master History Walker here at the Cultural Association, the World of Tells in Pavia, Lombardy in Italy. Yeah, that's right. Lombardy. We are right at the heart of the present crisis. In fact, specifically in Pavia. Now, that's a town you may not have heard about, but hopefully at the end of this history sit down, you'll remember all about Pavia. Now, I just said a history sit down. That's something a bit strange for me. You know, I'm a history walker. That means I walk around the city of Pavia with students and I tell them stories about the great people, the wonderful people who have lived here over the centuries. Now, as a result of the coronavirus lockdown, we're doing our first experiment with a history sit down instead of a walk. Now, the sit down, it's actually a form of storytelling that comes from the country where I was born. You know, I'm Australian. Look, this is the flag of the Northern Territory, my home. And the sit down actually comes from traditional Aboriginal culture. It's when you sit around in a circle and an elder tells stories while drawing symbols in the red sand, in the red earth. It's a time when, time stops. You listen and wisdom and information is transmitted. Okay, transmit, that's a key word for us today. That's what I want to talk with you about. We know what transmit means, but just to be on the safe side, here's a definition for you. Okay, so transmit means to pass on something from people to people or from place to place. Okay, now there is a particular kind of transmission that is very much on our minds right now, viral transmission. So what does it mean? A virus, we know, is a microscopic organism. It's about as tiny as they come. It is not even a complete cell. In fact, unlike bacteria, which can replicate on their own, a virus cannot. It needs a host cell in order to replicate it. In fact, it tricks the host cell into replicating it and making many new copies of the virus that then spread to other cells. And unfortunately, in the process, it tends to damage or even destroy the host cell. So this viral replication is a perfect analogy for transmission of information in today's society. Let's imagine, for example, I say something like, "Don't forget to wash your hands." Okay, my words will carry through the air as sound waves until those sound waves die away. And when they do, the information stops there. So it cannot propagate by itself. It can only continue to spread if other people listen and decide to repeat the information themselves, right? So the information has to induce people to repeat it and spread it, propagate it, just like a virus induces the cell to replicate it. Now, if the information is boring, uninteresting, people will not repeat it. They will not propagate it. If, on the other hand, the information is sexy and dramatic or maybe frightening, then people love to propagate it. They will transmit it as much as possible. Let me give you an example of this one. In late February 2020, the information spread by word of mouth and social networks that coronavirus dies in temperatures above 27 degrees Celsius. Wow, wonderful, I said. This is great. My family lives in Australia, where February is high summer. You know, the temperatures are far above 27 degrees Celsius. So I sent a message to my family saying, "Don't worry, relax, there's no problem. The virus can't affect you." Well, my brother got back to me. He said, Ivan, are you sure about that? What is the normal body temperature? Okay, I said 36.6 degrees Celsius. So obviously, I mean, if the virus dies above 27 degrees Celsius, it cannot inhabit the human body, right? It's nonsense. But nevertheless, that information was so attractive for me that it induced me, it tricked me into replicating it and propagating it. Viral spread of information. Now, if that information that gets spread is in some way dangerous, we can see how damaging it is. Can we fight this viral information? Yes, absolutely, we can. We can fight it with other viral information. Now, did you know some viruses are actually beneficial? That's right, not all viruses will make you sick. There are viruses that can help you fight sickness. They're called bacteriophages, and instead of attacking human cells, they actually attack bacterial cells. They look amazing, like some kind of spaceship, like a moon lander. Okay, that's fantastic. Well, these bacteriophages can be used in medicine to fight disease. And there are even some viruses that will stop a host cell replicating another harmful virus. So that's a little glimpse, perhaps, into the future of medicine here. Now, we can create information like bacteriophages, and we have seen that in this period. Kids, for example, making videos teaching other kids to wash their hands properly with singing and dancing and music. This is the equivalent of the bacteriophage in viral information. Positive information that can go viral and help us in the fight. And this is what we want to do as well with the coronavirus history sit down. We want to give you positive, useful, scientific information that you can propagate, you can spread, so we are all better defended against coronavirus. Now, we'll start tomorrow in the next episode with some science history. And we'll also, in later episodes, talk about things like the philosophy of medicine, politics, the media, and social change. We're going to talk about how this incredible experience is changing us and how we must work to make sure that that change will be beneficial for everybody. And every day as the story unfolds, we'll also find out more about this wonderful city where we live, called Pavia, and how the University of Pavia and its hospital, the Policlinico San Matteo, have contributed to the fight against disease in the past, in history, and how they are still doing so today, and will do in the future, of course. So, if you follow me,